Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is all about love, sex and relationships. So I asked you guys on Instagram what kind of video you would like to see next, and obviously this one came out top, and I was planning to do a series called Pillow Talk. If you can't tell, this is why I set up the ambiance, but a series called Pillow Talk where I basically discuss like intimate topics or topics that are really taboo or stigmatized that people don't usually want to discuss, because I think opening up a conversation about these things is the first step to being able to understand further and also educate yourself. So hopefully this can be a thing, you know? And it's not just about relationship, love and sex. I would like to explore mental health, friendships, money, things that just people don't usually talk about, if you catch my drift. But yes, without further ado, I have all your questions you guys sent me on Instagram, and we are going to get started. Okay, so I've got all the questions on my phone, and I would like to let it be known that I'm gonna keep their names anonymous because most of them it's requested to be, and the rest of them I just don't have their consent. First question: tips on how to stop feeling insecure about weight gain in a relationship. I've actually felt the same way in my past relationships. I mean, even now, I tend to date tall and like relatively skinny guys, and I'm 5'1", so if I gain weight, it just goes. There's nowhere up to go, it just goes sideways. And I have this running joke when me and my exes, or even like me and Felix now, we stand together, he's always the number 1 in the number 10 because like he's tall and slim, and I'm the 0 because I'm just like a cheesy ball next to him. But you know, when I was researching for myself, why do people tend to gain weight when they enter a relationship? I actually found a study that said it was because when you date, you end up eating out a lot, or like even if you eat in a lot, because it's just a way to spend time with your significant other, and that means that you tend to just consume more calories because you are spending more time with the person you love, and that is actually one of the top things couples do together. So you know, you end up overindulging, and maybe when you end up in a relationship, you feel that you've kind of found your person, and sometimes you tend to find yourself letting go a bit more because you find yourself being more and more comfortable with the other person. So that could happen, but at the same time, I feel like it's completely normal unless you were a gym buff before, or like you have a really high metabolism but you were really skinny and you never gained weight. I think being in a relationship just inevitably makes you gain weight. I feel like to a certain point it's happy weight, right? Like you're comfortable, you found your person, you're happy, you're spending all this time with them, so you inevitably gain some weight, and it's okay. It's okay to gain weight. I don't know why people think gaining weight is such a scary thing, because I've gained some weight. Aside from comments from other people that I didn't ask for, that makes me feel kind of bad for myself. I've never once thought gaining weight was bad. But at the same time, I think the key thing is to recognize how your negative self-talk is affecting you, how it's affecting your mental health, and challenge it if you want change. There's only ever 2 options, right? You could be okay with the weight gain, be positive about it, be happy about it, love your body, and then buy new clothes so that they fit you better, so you don't feel like you're constantly having to squeeze into this small outfit that you used to own. Just go with it, because your weight fluctuates, but your value, your worth, it doesn't. And if you want to go for the second option, which is basically you're not okay with the weight gain, you don't feel like yourself, you don't like what you see in the mirror, then the only other option is to reevaluate. Okay, so what have I been eating? How can I eat healthier? Should I work out more? Should I start working out? Just incorporate that into your lifestyle, but it's not a competition. It never is. Don't fight your body just because you think that society is expecting you to look a certain way, because as long as you're happy and healthy, no one should tell you how you should act or look or be. So that's my advice. Second question. Do you still masturbate, own and use sex toys despite having a healthy sex life with your boyfriend? Don't we all? I mean, self-pleasure is a form of self-love. Self-pleasure hits all the spots your partner didn't, couldn't, wouldn't, or just wasn't there for. You get me? A healthy sex life includes self-love, self-pleasure. So I don't think you can expect your partner to satisfy your every whim. It's not bad to do it yourself. Like, sometimes you just got it. Third question. What are some boundaries that make your relationship work for the long term? So these are some that are on the top of my head. Knowing when to say yes or no is really important. We often go out of our way to do things for the people we love because we think that, you know, that's the way it should be, sacrifice, right? But I think when you put boundaries and say yes or no, depending on the request and depending on how you actually feel about the request, is really important, because you don't want to build it up and then suppress how you actually feel about doing the request, and then one day just explode and you guys have a huge fight over it. It's not good. Also, always speak up if something is wrong, because communication is important, but comprehension is key. Got to be on the same wavelength. Also, it's really important to give and take some personal space. You need to spend time with yourself, with your friends, with your family. You can't always be with the same person in the same place 24/7. It won't work. To be fair, there's probably more boundaries you could probably incorporate in your relationship, and you know, like, boundaries are really important for any sort of relationship, to be honest with you. Okay, number 4. How to want sex on your side if your partner is not turned on yet. Masturbate. You can't force someone who isn't in the mood to have sex with you. You can discuss the possibility of having sex, but if your partner is not up for it, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't pressure them into having sex. It's not okay. Number 5. How old were you when you lost your virginity? First of all, I think it's really odd we say lose your virginity as if there's something inherently there to lose. I feel like science has time and time again proven that you can break your hymen in so many other ways. Exercise, doing a split, or just falling down from a horse, or horse riding, to be fair. And at the same time, the concept of virginity is such a misogynistic way of viewing women, because people don't really talk about, oh, you're a dude and you lost your virginity, right? Virginity has always kind of had this connotation to girls and women. Just because you lose your virginity, it doesn't mean you have lost any value in society. I'm just pointing out that we should start calling it when did you first start having sex instead of when did you lose your virginity. That's just my opinion. But anyway, to answer the question, my first time was when I was 15. I did it with someone I loved, I cared, I respected. It was my first serious relationship. We were safe, we used protection, everything was good. There was nothing I regretted about it. And I also want to say that you shouldn't take my experience as the deadline you need to have sex by. Just because I had sex at 15 doesn't mean you need to do it before then or at 15 if you're younger and you're watching. Because the best time is literally whenever you're ready. And at the same time, the best time is also to do it when you're not underage. Best time 18. 16, you can give it a little squeeze if it's the legal age of consent in your country. But yes, do not take my experience as advice on when to have sex. Just take it with a grain of salt. Number 6, do you have OnlyFans? No, I don't have OnlyFans. Number 7, can every girl squirt? Okay, every woman's body is different, so the answer is no. And I don't expect some sort of squirt show happening every time you have sex with a woman, because that just means you're watching some really unrealistic porn out there, because that's not what happens at all. So keep that in mind. Number 8, how do you keep the conversation going? I think first of all, find common interests and build on that. But at the same time, if you don't have common interests, it's fine as well. As long as you're willing to listen and learn, a conversation can be kept going. Yeah, like usually the willingness is key to keep the conversation going. Do you want to be there? Do you want to talk to this person? That's usually how it works, conversations. It's a two-way street, two hands to clap. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Number 9, how do you know if the person is the one? See, I don't think we will ever be certain if the person you're with is going to be the one, because let's face the facts, divorce rates are at an all-time high. And I bet those couples who got married thought they married the one as well. I don't know if I believe humans are like instinctively supposed to be mate with one significant other for the rest of their lives, because I feel like we're animals after all, like scientifically speaking. I guess we'll never know, so I can't answer you. But as long as you're putting effort into the relationship and you continuously do that with empathy, trust and loyalty, I don't see why you can't beat the odds. Question 10 is healthy relationship tips for different religious love story. Okay, so my ex was Muslim. That was quite an interesting experience. Because in Malaysia, by law, if you wanted to marry someone who's Muslim, you have to revert to Islam. And I say revert because Muslims believe that when you convert to Islam, you are actually reverting back to Islam, because they believe that Islam is the one true religion. So I'm gonna use the right terms here, so no one can call me out. I didn't mind reverting on paper if we ended up getting married, but I don't think my heart was ever in the right place, because I'm agnostic. I just didn't believe in God or religion, and I'm all about cold heart proof. So the idea of God and religion didn't sit well with me. I can't physically see or know that something or someone or another higher being is out there. So I couldn't commit myself to that. But I could do it on paper as long as I didn't have to exactly follow the rules behind closed doors, which I think is a really bad way to, I guess, like practice religion. If I had to give you one inspirational piece of advice, is to not do what I did. If you're in a relationship with someone who's in a different religion as you, and you truly see that person in your future, then you should definitely wholeheartedly accept and be willing to learn and be open about it. You know, weigh out your options. And I think that's the best thing you can do if you're in a relationship with someone who has a different belief than you. Definitely, if you're not willing to be open or compromise or listen, then you will just find yourself at a dead end. Your relationship is not going to fly that way. So I wish I had something more inspirational, but that is, you know, my truth, and the only piece of advice I can give you is not to learn from me, not to take my experience for anything. Number 11, any tips to get British guy like you? This question is a bit problematic. Actually, it's just problematic. I think having a race preference when it comes to romantic relationships is problematic. It fetishizes like certain groups of people and stereotypes their behavior. We all know the stereotype, right? That Asian women are more subservient, or even like Latinos will sweep you off their feet in like a round of Roomba or something because they're such passionate lovers. It's just terrible generalization because it doesn't apply to everyone of that race. You know, like similarly, I think certain women from developing countries that have previously been colonized have this colonial mentality that believes their colonizers is top tier. Like if you're a Malaysian woman and you manage to bag a white dude from England, you're lucky somehow because it's somewhat of a win. You're just perpetuating that whole idea that, oh my god, I'm the inferior race and I got the superior race, so I win. You know what I mean? I'm trying my best to articulate what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry if it comes out wrong or like it comes out a bit confusing. I can clarify if you comment below and ask me. Just don't attack me because this is a healthy conversation. We're talking, we're not fighting. Okay? Anyway, I can't tell you how to get a British guy because I didn't set out looking for one. So my only advice is to keep your intentions pure and be open to love and explore. I know it sounds cringy and like cheesy and like you'll find someone that is your perfect partner, but you can't just go out looking for a partner in life based on your race. That's not okay. Okay, so this is going to be the last question for this video. I'm gonna do it in 2 parts because like it's getting really long and I don't think you want to sit here and watch 45 minutes. Question 12. What's the kinkiest thing you've ever done with feelings? So we went to a sex club in Berlin. It was called the Kit Kat Club. And someone actually asked what we did there. But I'm going to leave that question for the next video. So stay tuned for part 2 and I will spill the beans on what we did there because it's actually quite interesting. Let me pre-excite you. That's fucking weird. Pre-warn you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I'm open to any questions. If you need anything, let me know. Hit me up in the comment section or DM me, or maybe we could do this again where I ask what kind of questions you guys want to know and I will answer. Comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, do that thing and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much.